What a night back in 2009 for BYU football as they took down the third-ranked Sooners. We are live in Studio B with your day-to-day BYU sports play-by-play. I'm Spencer Linton, teamed up alongside Uncle B, Blaine Fowler, and the man who quarterbacked that BYU team to that remarkable win at Jerry's World in Texas. Max Hall is back on the program. Max, welcome to BYUSN. We couldn't not have you on during Oklahoma week, brother, so thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Yeah, it's kind of nice this year. It's always Utah week and now Oklahoma week. I can kind of count on that every year that's when I'm going to be on. So appreciate you guys.
Hey, we could have you on every week the way you break the game down and with your mentality. But those were, Utah's always a special week. This is a big week as we look back. What do you remember most about beating Oklahoma in that big win in 2009?
It was a special win. I mean, it might have been my favorite win of my career because the year before we came off the loss to Utah at Utah, and then we lost our bowl game my junior year. So there was a lot of fire behind us and that team going into that game. It was the first game of the season, and we prepared like crazy all off season for it. So that game meant a lot, not just because it was Oklahoma, but how were we going to bounce back from the season before? And we just had a group of guys that we just weren't scared, and we believed that we could beat anybody. And so going into that game, I just remember always having the feeling that we were going to win. For whatever reason, I knew it in my mind. I didn't doubt it at all. So it was a phenomenal night. What I remember most about it is the defense showed up, man. The defense played so well in that game. Fourth and goal stands, turnovers. I mean, you can see it right there, flying around. And it gave energy to our offense, and we were able to go down, at the end of the game on that final drive and get it done.
Now, Max, I know that you and Dennis have on multiple occasions addressed a really cool story that features McKay Jacobson where he's standing in the end zone a few months before the game. I'm not sure exactly the time frame there, but he's standing in the end zone. He's on the phone with you, and he's saying, I'm in the end zone, so I'm going to catch a touchdown. And then it comes to fruition. So if you could fill in the details about what happened there in that phone call with McKay.
Yeah, I mean, I vaguely remember, but I remember him calling and talking about, how much it meant to him and that he wanted to score a touchdown and in that stadium and in that game. And, being in the hometown and all that, I know it meant a lot to him. So, I mean, the excitement at the end of the game when he caught that ball, it was unreal. It was just like that win was supposed to be, and everything fell into place for it to work. So couldn't have been more happy for McKay.
I have to admit, Max, so I was there on the sideline for that game. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you the other night. Max and I talked for a long time the other night. It was really fun. But I stood by the tunnel when Oklahoma came out, and the first group that came out was their offensive line. And as they came out, they walked by, and I was like, oh, my gosh, these guys have some dudes. We are in trouble. I'm like, we don't have any dudes like those dudes. And you guys were 23-point underdogs heading into that game. And yet you just talked about how you had so much confidence going in that you could win. So now here comes BYU. They're 24.5-point underdogs this Saturday. What's the key for them to pull off an upset against a team that's going to look just like, that has dudes, just like that team had dudes?
Oh, I think we might have lost Max just for a second. We'll try and reconnect with him.
Yeah.
Okay. And you bring up an intriguing question that I'm going to follow up with as well. We need to talk to the guy who understands offense at a very high level.
Right.
Okay. About what's the most fixable element for BYU. And yes, to answer your question, Blaine, how in the world does BYU pull off an upset when they're similarly to 2009, just a massive underdog?
And Oklahoma still looks like that Oklahoma team. When they started to hang in there and knock Oklahoma around a little bit, they knocked Sam Bradford out. I'm thinking, whoa, this team came. They're playing like a bunch of crazed dogs. They just came with this mindset that they had nothing to lose, everything to gain. They could play free and loose. But when I say free and loose, that doesn't mean that they weren't good in terms of their assignments, right? So free and loose means you're playing full speed, full tilt, but you're not getting out of yourself like we just talked about with Isaac Rex. You're doing your job, but you're doing your job at a fanatic effort level.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what that team did. And it wasn't very long in that game before I started to go, yeah, Oklahoma has some dudes, but you know what? BYU's got some dudes. Like, these guys are balling out. Colby Clausen was out there making plays. Jordan Pendleton was out there making plays on defense. Max alluded to the defense and how well they played. And Max and Dennis and that group, McKay, as we see him catch a ball here, those guys all were making big plays over and over and again. They played without fear. They played loose.
They had belief, Blaine. And Austin Colley was on the show yesterday with me co-hosting, and he brought that up first thing. I said, okay, where does it start, Austin? He said, belief. And that stems from leaders kind of saying, okay, we believe, we're going to show you the way. Now buy into what we're telling you. BYU has to have some good things happen early in this game, and then that belief grows.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we look at a game like last week. It's one thing to have a game where you turn the ball over early and you say, come on, guys, we can overcome this. But when that happens in another game, and then in another game, and then in another game. So last week against Iowa State,
feel like you're snake bitten.
It was like, wait a minute here. We did not just give them 10 points again to start the game. Like, how many times? I'm not sure we can come back from this again.
Yeah.
And so it becomes, in terms of a mindset, a tough thing to deal with. And it sounds like we've got Max back with us. And so I want to follow up with that, Max, where we talked about you guys going in and me looking at that team thinking, I don't know how we're going to match up with these guys. Yet you had all the confidence in the world. So now here's BYU as a 24.5-point underdog. Oklahoma still has dudes, just like they always do. What does BYU need to do to get ready to be able to get another upset this Saturday?
Well, I'll tell you, and when I came back, I kind of heard a little bit of what you were saying, Blaine, and I think you're spot on. They cannot start the game like they've been starting games, because I believe that this team, if they do start slow, may not be able to recover in the end, just like you said. Because right now things haven't been going well. And so if those major mistakes or turnovers or whatever happen early, you're going to feel the energy and the belief of the team just come down.
Yes.
So it has to be a game where they got to start fast. They got to execute. And I talked about this a little bit the other night with you, Blaine, and they have to just go out there and do their job and have fun playing football. Don't make it bigger than it needs to be. Just go play and do your job and execute, and let's see what happens. And I think if we start making some plays, we score early, defense gets a stop, I think that belief goes up and we start seeing the BYU team, you know, that we all know can play. So I think that's going to be key, because if it's a slow start, I don't think we'll recover.
You know, Max, I want to ask you a question. You and I had a conversation the other night, and you articulated this so beautifully the other night. I'm like, man, Max just said exactly what I've been thinking, but he said it so much better than I could ever say it. So I want you to expound on it a little bit. People have come up to me and said they just look like they're not trying out there. But as I've watched the film, I'm like, no, guys are running hard. It's not about physically trying. It's something else. And you put your finger on it so well. Talk to us a little bit about what you've seen and whether or not you think this team's not trying physically.
Yeah, I disagree with that. And I've actually seen some comments of, you know, people saying like, oh, the players don't even care as much as maybe some of the fans do and all that. That's all nonsense. Okay. Players want to win. What I see is a team that is giving effort, that is trying, but they're pressing. They're trying to do too much. They're trying to win the game back in one play. And in my opinion, it's a mindset. So it's not necessarily the effort, it's the mindset of the effort. Can you put and harness that into execution and doing your job? And that's where I think BYU is falling short right now, because now you got guys out of position, trying to make plays, trying to do things maybe outside the scheme, and that's causing mistakes. And then guys are getting frustrated, and then they're pressing. It's like a basketball player who kind of comes out cold and he just keeps forcing three balls up. You know, maybe you should try to get to the basket, maybe get a foul, get some free throws in, right? Get you going a little bit. And I think that's what BYU's doing. 100%, it is a mindset, in my opinion. And how do they channel that energy and effort into execution?
Well said by Max Hall, former BYU quarterback and one of the greats with us on BYU Sports Nation. If you had to pinpoint the most fixable element of the BYU offense right now, this late in the season, what would that be and why?
That's a very tough question. Initially, I want to say we got to fix the run game, the offensive line. I don't think the offensive line is playing up to standard. I love those dudes. I never want to rag on offensive linemen. They're my guys. But, you know, I expect a little bit more out of them. And then obviously we just need a little bit more consistency in the quarterback play. And I think those are the two things that are hurting us the most, at least from an offensive standpoint.
You know, I've been saying to compete in this league since before the season started that it's a different ballgame. You've got to score in the 30s if you're going to win, because these offenses are just too good in this league. It's not, and I think, Max, didn't you guys have the pillar that on defense, hold them under 24 and we win? So the expectation was if you could get over 24. And with us, we used to say, and you know, I'm old school, way old school. We used to say if we hold them under 21, then we should win every game if we hold them under 21. I feel like that's changed. I mean, am I crazy to think that we need to score in the 30s, or is that a legitimate thought, Max?
No, I think it's a legitimate thought. You know, back even when I was playing, that pillar held true. And, you know, Bronco, you know, one of his other pillars was win the turnover battle and then the 24-point rule. Offense got to score more, defense got to hold them under. And every time we did that, we won. So it worked. But I think football has changed since even I played, you know, however long ago that's been. It's just a different, offenses are faster, they're more dangerous, they have better weapons, they got mobile quarterbacks. The way that the rules of the game has changed, I think teams need to score more. I think you're 100% right. To win games consistently, you have to consistently be scoring in the 30s and 40s, especially in a conference that BYU's in right now, because they're going to go up against some of the best offenses in the nation, and they're going to put up points. And if we can't match that from an offensive standpoint on our team, we're not going to win very many games. And I think that's why, you know, we've struggled this year, is we just haven't been able to put points on the board.
Max Hall on BYU Sports Nation. And once upon a time, you, my friend, were a young quarterback making his first few starts at BYU. And frankly, you opened up against the Power 5. Arizona was your first start. Jake Retzlaff is in that area. Now he's facing Oklahoma, which is just a massive challenge in and of itself to be in a Power 5 conference week after week. It's not like he could ease into it. So at this point, as he makes his third start, what advice would you give to him about helping him get in the groove and get in a rhythm and find some success early in this game?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, you know, opening up my two games, I believe it was U of A and UCLA. We went 1-1 there, but I wasn't opening up against West Virginia and Iowa State and Oklahoma State. Like, these are good football teams. And I would say for Jake, I love his energy. I love his passion. I love his playmaking ability. He just kind of brought a little bit different energy to the offense, moving around. But what I would say for him is don't try to do too much. You got to rely on your playmakers around you. Figure out a way to get the ball in those guys' hand so we take the pressure off the quarterback a little bit. So there you go. Rex and all these receivers and these running backs, we got to make plays. And when we have opportunities to make them, we have to step up and get it done. And I think that takes some pressure off the QB a little bit, lets them relax and feel more comfortable that, hey, the guys around me are going to play hard. They're going to make plays for me. I don't feel like I have to be perfect the whole game. And I think that's going to be big for him going forward. So trust your guys around you, trust the scheme, make sure you know the game plan going in, inside out, and have confidence in your preparation. And I think that'll bring some calmness to him. Now that he's played a couple games, I expect him to execute better and to look a little bit more polished in this game, even though he's going against a really good team.
That's awesome advice. I remember, Max, Mike Holmgren, when we were freshman and sophomore players with Mike, he used to say, when you're a freshman and sophomore, don't even think you cannot go win a game, and I don't expect you to win a game. I just don't want you to lose a game for us. We'll talk about that when you're a junior or senior. When you're a senior, I might have to put it on your back and go win a game, but not as a freshman or sophomore. Just don't go lose it, right? And that's what Max just described. Fantastic, Max. Thanks so much for being with us. Let's get you up here. We need I'm telling you, you could be one of the big-time college or NFL quarterback coaches out there, because I love your mentality and I love talking X's and O's with you. Thanks for being with us, man.
Hey, I appreciate that, Blaine. Thank you, Spencer. Appreciate you too, man. So anytime, I'd love to be on with you guys. So I'll get up there soon enough. I promise. As soon as our season's over, I'll try to get up there.
Let's go. Right on, Max. Talk to you later.